This one here is a 2-for-1 on St. Louis' best folklore. Are you ready? There's a stretch of road in St. Louis that sits between two massive cemeteries, Calvary and Bellefontaine, and locals say something odd happens there after dark. Some drivers claim a ghost sticks out their thumb for a ride, yet vanishes before it arrives. This is Calvary Road, where history, tragedy, rumor, and hauntings blend into one chilling story. Calvary Road is a quiet street that runs between Calvary Cemetery and Bellefontaine Cemetery, two of the oldest and most historic burial grounds in St. Louis. Calvary Cemetery was established in 1854 and is home to over 300,000 graves, from Civil War soldiers to famous locals. Bellefontaine dates back to 1849 and holds tens of thousands of headstones, monuments, and mausoleums. On either side of Calvary Road lies centuries of history and plenty of emotional energy. It's a place where the boundary between the living and the past feels thin. The legend of Hitchhike Annie, one of the most enduring tales tied to this area, isn't exactly on Calvary Road, but just off it, and it follows drivers down the dark stretch of road that leads toward Bellefontaine Cemetery. Locals call her Hitchhike Annie, the ghost of a young woman in a white dress who appears right at sunset. She lifts her thumb, asking for a ride, but as the car reaches the cemetery gates, she simply disappears. Drivers swear they see her, pale skin and old-fashioned clothing, standing on the roadside at twilight, vanishing when the car slows. Some say Annie is harmless, just stuck between worlds, unable to move on. Others say she's a warning, don't follow too far down these roads after dark. Both cemeteries contribute to the eerie atmosphere of this area. Calvary Cemetery has centuries of Catholic burials and stories of ghostly apparitions walking among graves, unexplained lights over tombs, and the sound of distant Latin prayers drifting through empty sections. Bellefontaine Cemetery is renowned for its architecture and history, but also claims its own paranormal lore. Some visitors report figures in Victorian clothing, fog that appears even on warm days, and a feeling that stone statues seem to watch visitors silently. When you drive Calvary Road at night, you're moving between these two worlds, a bridge between historical hauntings and local folklore. The Bubbleheads urban legend. Not far from the cemetery corridor is another old St. Louis urban legend, one that's spread through generations with every summer campfire and late-night dare. Locals have long whispered about the so-called Bubbleheads, a family said to live at the end of a long, winding road in North County, sometimes referred to as Bubblehead Road or placed in the area around Carico Road. According to the legend, a family with abnormally large heads lived deep in the woods. If you drove too far down the road, they'd come out and scare you. Stories tie them to government experiments, mutations, or isolated recluses. In truth, the Bubblehead's tale appears to be a mix of rumors, imagination, and misunderstanding, possibly linked to a real family with a child who had a medical condition called hydrocephalus, a buildup of fluid in the brain that can enlarge the head, who once lived near the area. Locals say the story morphed over time into an eerie legend. Whatever the origin, the legend persists, passed down like a ghost story that seems scarier and bigger with each retelling. Urban legends like Hitchhike, Annie, and the Bubbleheads don't always come from documented hauntings, but they thrive in places people find mysterious or unsettling. Calvary Road sits between cemeteries filled with decades of grief, history, and spirits. People are naturally drawn to fill in the gaps with stories, especially when those stories seem to make sense of the unknown. Ask anyone who's driven the road late at night. Some say the air feels thicker near the cemetery lines. Others report seeing movement at the tree line, just beyond headlights. Some drivers swear they've seen figures on the roadside, disappearing when they slow down. Whether it's ghosts, psychology, or simply the power of suggestion, these tales won't go away. Calvary Road isn't just asphalt between cemeteries. It's a pathway through history, memory, and folklore, where old stories nestle alongside real haunted lore. Ghostly hitchhikers, emotional energy from centuries of burial grounds, and local legends passed down like heirlooms make this one of St. Louis' most intriguing, eerie stretches of road. And if you're brave enough to drive it at night, you might just feel the stories come alive.